Hey everyone, I wanted to go over the new and exciting news that we have for Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak's 4th free title update, which is set to release just next month. And today what we're going to be checking out is the fact that the developers decided to go ahead and tease 3 separate upcoming event quests that are going to be part of the package, of course, for the 4th free title update. I've seen a lot of people bring up several points of discussion regarding when is the presentation that we are expecting set to take place and when is the actual update set to drop. I'm going to have a separate video on that, discussing, breaking all that down, since people seem to be relatively confused and there's a lot of misinformation going around on social media regarding this specific topic. So I'll be trying to cover that in the next video. But for now, we'll be focusing on the fact that the developers used the developer challenge kind of like idea that they have been doing. Remember that developer challenges are when they essentially put up a poll on Twitter. They ask players to kind of vote in for a weapon that they want the developers to look into, perhaps put a gameplay clip up. This is something you should have been seeing the latest one, but I believe the hunting horn in the most latest developer challenge that they shared. And what they usually have done is they let players kind of vote on the weapon, and then people vote on the weapon, and essentially that weapon is going to get looked at by the developers, and we get this short little gameplay clip of one of the more recent event quests. Instead, this time around, what they decided to do for the upcoming 4th free title update is that they gave us a glimpse of 3 upcoming event quests, and we get to pick, or we got a chance to pick. Actually, the voting is already over, and I wanted to wait basically when everyone got their votes in so we can know exactly what quests we're going to be able to get our hands on. And they basically just told us of 3 upcoming event quests, some of the challenging ones, some of the dual threat event quests that they're going to be posting for this upcoming update, which once again, dual threat event quests are kind of like more difficult, they're more engaging, and the most recent one that we got, actually the one that you should be seeing the gameplay of, that one is probably one of the best dual threat event quests that they've shared. So this time they took to social media. This was a couple of days ago. They said, for the next Sunbreak developer challenge, our very own lead Lance gameplay designer will be charging into a dual threat hunt, playing the Lance. Will they face off against a pair of Furious Rajangs, Gold Rathian and Silver Rathalos, or Seething Bezelgeuse and Chaotic Gore Magala? Vote now. They also made a subsequent tweet clarifying that, of course, both the North American Twitter account, the Japanese Twitter account, and the Capcom Asian account, all of them will have the same poll up. So they're going to tally up all the votes based off of pretty much the most amount of people that voted for any given one of those quests, and that is going to be the winner quest. And now we basically know that the Seething Bezelgeuse and Chaotic Gore Magala event quest will be the winner. The reason for that is because here in the North American Twitter post, we only got 9,000 votes. As you can see, I voted for Furious Rajang ×2. 23% voted for Gold Rathian and Silver Rathalos. 37%, that would be the second place here in North America. Seething Bezelgeuse and Chaotic Gore Magala's event quest was the one that was picked. However, for the Japanese developer Sunbreak challenge for the 4th free title update, there were 42,000 votes and 40% of said votes. So that would mean, I'm going to say somewhere around north of 15,000 if I'm doing my math correctly, which I'm not necessarily going to put money on, but somewhere around 15,000 or so votes went for the Seething Bezelgeuse Chaotic Gore Magala one. So pretty much that one is going to be the winner because there were 4 times as many votes on the Japanese side of things. And the Asian post of the Twitter accounts, they both just had, I believe, 200 votes for the English post, which had the Seething Bezelgeuse, and 131 on the Korean one. So pretty much not very much. So there you go. That's still, they ended up picking the same quest anyways, but the votes didn't necessarily add up to all that much. So what we do end up knowing now is the Seething Bezelgeuse and Chaotic Gore Magala dual threat event quest will be the featured quest for this Lance gameplay that we are going to be able to get next month. That is going to be the featured developer challenge for March as part of the 4th free title update. With all that said, though, it also tells us that, of course, these are going to be 3 event quests that are going to be dropping as part of the pretty much a sequence of event quests that we are going to get. Now, this also has been kind of covered already that we are going to get another 3 separate armor sets, 2 of which are going to be layered, one which will have stats that is based on some of the findings that people have done. Can't necessarily put up the images here because Capcom has kind of been taking down information regarding that, so I'm not going to go ahead and get this video taken down because of that. But there have been some, let's say, images shared already, so we know at the very least 3 armor sets, kind of like in the third free title update. We ended up getting the same amount, so this is going to be no different as well. So dual thread event quests are pretty good. I think we got 2, if I want to remember correctly, for this specific free title update. We have a couple of separate quests left still, and then we should be relatively soon for the next 4th free title update, which again, people have been kind of really antsy waiting on to see just what it is that we are going to get, more importantly when we are going to get it, and I'm going to be covering that at a separate video. But aside from all that, I did want to speak a little bit about my current experience so far with the Xbox Series X build of the game, as I've been kind of chipping away at my character on base Monster Hunter Rise on Game Pass, and I've been having a lot of fun playing with people, especially the amount of just how easy it is to get a quest on Xbox. Now, I'm not saying that on PlayStation it has been relatively hard. It hasn't been. I think a lot of people decided to pick up the game on PlayStation, but like I said multiple times, if you buy the game on PlayStation, you have to buy it. It's not part of a service. Where on Game Pass for Xbox, pretty much, you can buy it, but if you have Game Pass and 25 plus 30 million people already have Game Pass, you already have access to the game. And it's made it extremely easy for a lot of new players to check out the game. And I've had just entry-level quests, you know, trying to do some of the needed quests to kind of advance your, you know, from low rank to high rank. You know, it's been relatively easy to find quests, which has been a lot of fun. This is something that in my review period for the PlayStation 5 copy, but again, review copies are very limited in that regard, so finding players online was a little bit of a nuisance. That's why I never actually had. Someone asked me in the comments for the review video, which I'm going to leave a link in the description below if you didn't check out my review for the PS5 version of the game. And someone asked me how come I didn't have some like online gameplay. That is because I never found anyone online. But again, review copies were limited, therefore I assume, and I also had the game for a month ahead of time, so I assume people just didn't have copies of it relatively on. Maybe 50 people had access to it, so trying to get, you know, 50 random players to kind of play together, you know, it's just, the chance of that is not necessarily very high. Whereas on Game Pass, man, it's just so easy to find players. It feels very similar to the Nintendo Switch, where regardless of whatever quest you are trying to get into, you can still find plenty of players, and there is a lot of fun there to be had. So I just wanted to touch upon very quickly on my current Xbox Series X experience with base Rise, having fun with it. But of course, when Sunbreak drops is when the real things begin. If you're brand new to my channel, be sure to leave a like and subscribe, hit the bell to receive notifications when the videos go up, and as always, thank you so much for watching. See ya.